The midterm elections are just over a month away, and many experts think the Republican Party could take back Congress.
But given the history of midterms, is this a bad sign for Democrats or just business as usual? Mark McPherson takes a closer look in tonight's In Perspective.
Political experts are predicting a takeover.
A Gallup poll that finds voters prefer Republicans.
The latest battleground poll shows Americans believe a Republican-led Congress would do a better job than the president.
50% of Republicans saying they're very enthusiastic about the election.
A big midterm election season by Republicans is being interpreted by some as a vote against President Obama. But history will show that parties that hold the White House almost always have bad midterms.
If you look back at history, 2 years after one party takes over the White House, almost always that same party loses some degree of support 2 years later.
In fact, the non-presidential party has gained seats in Congress for every midterm election since 1822, with the exception of 3. The first was back in 1934. President Roosevelt's New Deal was popular with voters, and Democrats picked up 18 seats in the House and Senate. The next 2 came in back-to-back midterms. The first was somewhat of a surprise. In 1998, with President Clinton reeling from the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Republicans were hoping to capitalize, but when the dust settled, it was the Democrats that actually picked up seats in the House. Many believe it was backlash for attacks on a popular, although scandal-riddled, president. The third was in 2002. It was President Bush's first term, and in post-9/11, his popularity was around 70%. Republicans gained 10 seats that year. But in every other midterm, the president's party has seen a loss, averaging around 30 seats.
The public tends to be a little wary of having one-party rule. So when they come out in large numbers for one party in, say, in 2008, 2 years later, well, maybe we should try the other party.
We can't let this country fall backwards because the rest of us didn't care enough to fight.
And as President Obama hits the campaign trail this month, he doesn't have New Deal momentum or post-9/11 popularity. In fact, he's facing an uphill battle.
This is a natural, historical thing that the Democrats are facing. And then you throw in the economy and some of the policies and the legislative successes they've had, which have antagonized the other side, all of which creates almost a perfect storm for the Republicans.
A storm that Democrats have a little over a month to find their way clear of. For In Perspective, I'm Mark McPherson, News Channel 8.
And as Democrats fight to hold on to their seats here in Wisconsin, they have outspent Republicans this campaign season by almost $6 million.
Democratic Senator Russ Feingold has spent the most at just under $11 million.